Well, I can honestly say this month is going to be a shit show because nothing says Valentine's like two grown men talking about rom-coms. So this week, we're talking movies. We're talking 2001's America's Sweethearts and Bridget Jones' Diary. Chris, stop me if you heard this one. Guy goes to a rabbi and he says, I think my wife's trying to poison me. Rabbi says, let me talk to her. Comes back a little later and says, listen, I spoke to your wife for 3 hours. Take the poison.
Bridget Jones, wanted sex goddess with a very bad man between her thighs. Mom?
Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of How'd You Like That Movie? This is the month of romance, so we figured we would do some rom-coms and get it on. So Scott, take us away.
Okay, I don't know where you got that. Is that from your movie, the Get It On?
No, man, I was just like,
Okay.
It's romantic, it's rom-com, getting it on is romantic, and yeah, that's kind of how we ended up there.
All right, so the movie I watched was America's
Awful.
Sweethearts.
Sorry, what was that?
It was America's Sweethearts.
It was awful. Yes, you're
this
correct.
is the most honest movie I've ever seen. I wasn't looking for it. It just came to me like a bus in the street, or the woman who changes the flowers at our desert house. I can't talk about this film without weeping, Chris. You get it?
I get it. It's a line from the movie. You should have maybe checked the Rotten Tomatoes rating like on this movie first.
I did.
Really? And this okay, so for all you listeners out there, trust me, listening to this podcast is going to be more entertaining than watching this film. And I'm going to step right off with just don't watch it. It's just a waste of time. But it had a 32 from the critics and only slightly better, a 40% from the audience. So go ahead, Scott. And why the fuck did you choose such a badly rated movie?
This is one of my guilty pleasure movies.
Whoa. So you enjoyed this film enough that it's on your list of guilty pleasures. This wasn't just some random rom-com. I just assumed you were like, bam. And you ended up on this, like spinning a globe.
No, like I've watched this movie numerous times since inception. Since its inception in 2001. Yeah. Whatever. Actually, I really like Billy Crystal. And
there's lots of good Billy Crystal movies. This is not one of them. And he's one of the fucking writers.
I know. And when this movie came out, I was on like a John Cusack like hit, like freaking Gross Point Blank hit, High Fidelity.
Say like Anything. I mean, that's all older stuff, but I mean
that was old. Identity came out around then. So yeah, I was just jonesing for his next little hit. And then I know you're talking about the whole Rotten Tomatoes thing, but it was funny because I looked at the 2001 box office. Now your film it like kills this film in Rotten Tomatoes finished 31st in the box office that year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what position this movie finished at?
Missionary style with the fucking lights on, because before
it was 23rd. It was 23rd. So more people watched this movie than Bridget Jones, but obviously Bridget Jones is, would you say it's a cult?
It's a cult classic, and it's a fucking fantastic movie. But before we get that, because you love to use numbers as a way to like justify your horrible taste in movies. So what I've got is the box office for American Sweethearts is 138 million on a $46 million budget. First off, I do want to point out, fuck the days when you made a rom-com for $50 million and it tripled its return almost. You know what I mean? Those fucking days feel like they're over. Bridget Jones.
All the rom-coms go to streaming now.
This is true. So your film was made for 46 million, made 138 million. Mm-hmm. My film was made for 25 million, which is a lower number, and made $282 million, which is a bigger number than yours. So
right. But now
a better Rotten Tomatoes score and was a better return on investment. Go ahead.
Yeah, 100%, because two of its stars were unknown at the time. You had Renee Zellweger coming off Jerry Maguire, right? But she wasn't a known commodity. And you had Colin Firth, right?
Well, you have Colin Firth and fucking.
I'm pretty sure the $20 million was all Hugh Grant's salary.
Then why did it make more money? So yes, I can understand why our production budget is lower. Why did ours make over $100 million more money than yours?
I don't know,
because
I'm guessing America's Sweethearts probably closed or opened later, because how can America's Sweetheart finish 23rd and Bridget Jones finished 31st if Bridget Jones made more money?
That's a good question.
Because I was looking at domestic box office, and I'm assuming Bridget Jones probably hit big worldwide. Most likely, internationally, like Europe, UK, especially when it's set there.
It opened in France and in the UK like roughly around the same time, right? So but I would disagree. Like, their cast is fucking solid. Colin Firth, but some of these people were already bigger in the UK. Right. Obviously, Hugh Grant was already big, but Colin Firth was already a very well-known actor in Britain and the UK. Right. But look at your cast. It's all fucking A-list.
Well, and that right there is probably 2001, if I'm not mistaken. Julia Roberts is the highest paid actress at the time. Catherine Zeta-Jones. She's
another one that's on my list of, like, I don't hate her, but I don't see what all the hubbub is about with her. She's a pretty flat, like, range as an actor. You know what I mean? Like, she basically shows up and plays the same fucking character all the time. Sometimes it's got a little more potty mouth.
You know what she has that you don't?
$1 bazillion.
And an Oscar.
Burn.
Yeah, this is true.
And this from the guy who's like, I had booked on
Aaron Brockovich was good. It was good, but I mean, she basically just played another version of herself. Sometimes I think Oscars go out to like people in movies that people are like, I really like that movie. And so they give an Oscar. Like, I would actually have to pull up what else went to the Oscars. Actually, who else? Maybe our producer can do this. Who else was in the same year for nominated for Best Actress? Because I want to know who her actual competition was. Because, I mean, Aaron Brockovich is a good movie. It's very entertaining and stuff. But I don't know if she needed a fucking Oscar for that shit. But while he does that, is there anything you want to like really like dive into on your film or what?
Yeah, like,
clearly for me, fucking like it.
I like it. I like it. And this to me is how in my head I picture every Hollywood A-list actor. Like, Catherine Zeta-Jones' character is in my head how every Hollywood actress or actor probably most likely act.
No, but I want to talk about what about the movie is enjoyable. Sure, that I agree with you on that standpoint. She pulls off the role of herself, Hollywood actor. I mean, I've never heard that she's actually like a shitty person to work with, but like, how is the story entertaining? It's not very funny. You don't really have any empathy or any sympathy for these characters. Like, you're not invested in them. One thing I would say that with like Bridget Jones' Diary, that's one of the reasons it became such a cult hit, is like lots of women were like, that's me. Like, that's me in that fucking movie. Although, they don't have Hugh Grant, drooling all over them or for them. So go ahead, man. Tell me what's so great about the fucking story of your movie.
Honestly, this has nothing to do with story. I think it's just one of those that you can put it on and you don't have to think about anything. It's just literally like sight gag, next sight gag, funny comment.
Give me some examples. Oh, and by the way, Hank Azaria's Spanish accent has not fucking aged well.
Where Gwen goes. I'm with Gwen now. We're a couple. So we're going to go to the honky together. Okay? Okay.
Like, as soon as that he came on, and I like Hank Azaria. I mean, Simpsons, right? Like, he's a great voice actor. That like Spanish lisp thing that he put on, I was like, whoa, that would not fly anymore. Like, that would definitely not fly. It was
but and that's the thing. It's just going back kind of thing.
Why didn't they just get Antonio fucking Banderas to do it? He's actually fucking Spanish.
Because their budget was already high enough. Could you imagine 2001 fucking Antonio Banderas?
Yeah, that's true. He was top of his game then.
Yeah.
So give me that Puss in Boots money.
Desperado, fucking 13th Warrior. What else was he coming off of?
Which you can check out our show on the 13th Warrior, by the way.
Oh, there you go. You're learning. But yeah, like for me, like it's just like psychic stuff. And then you have like these little like cameos, like the side characters that come out and they kind of just steal the show, like Stanley Tucci, right, as the studio exec. And then Christopher Walken as the fucking director, who I think, even though his screen time's probably, I think, 5 minutes in total of that whole movie, he just kind of steals it. And then
he was fantastic as the director. I agree. And Stanley Tucci did a great job. So you have these people who are acting, like they're doing a great job with their acting, and they have no substance to work with. Like the comedy is not good. And I am actually shocked. Maybe Billy Crystal's not very good at writing. I don't know enough of his work that he's done as a writer, but like for a comedian of his talent, that movie should have been way funnier.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Hold on. So our producer said, so this is who Julia Roberts beat out with Aaron Brockovich. You've got Joanne Allen for The Contender, which is a fucking awesome film, and she does an amazing job in it. Ellen Burstyn for Requiem of a Dream, also a great role. And Juliette Binoche for fucking Chocolat. Like, these are some really fucking hardcore fucking acting jobs. I know all of those movies, by the way. And like the transformative roles that all of those people did, maybe not so much Chocolat. I mean, she's pretty French kind of like in her aesthetic and stuff anyway. And so like Julia Roberts didn't really transform much in Aaron Brockovich. She just had like a potty mouth to her and like a push-up bra. You know what I mean? Like, I think people like the movie, which it is highly entertaining. I don't know if Julia Roberts ever really deserved. I would rather see Julia Roberts have a fucking Oscar for Pretty Woman than Aaron Brockovich.
Sure.
Pretty Woman is fucking fantastic film. I hate when they wouldn't let her go shopping.
What?
It's from Romy and Michelle's high school reunion.
I know.
Also
have you seen
film.
Just sidebar, have you seen the Netflix movies that made us, the Pretty Woman one?
Yes.
Like how that movie was supposed to end was pretty fucking dark.
I would have preferred that. That's a fucking awesome ending.
But anyways, back to me, because you're gonna take over again. Like part of the reason I enjoy it too is kind of thinking, because Billy Crystal wrote this, just kind of guessing who are the people that kind of he envisioned, like who was the actress technically when he made like the character of Catherine Zeta-Jones, right?
Oh, you mean like who are the real life people?
Yeah, like my guess for Walken was at the time 2001. I was like, most likely it's Fincher, right?
Oh,
the guy who
like,
just
like
won,
living in a cabin, doing crazy shit.
Yeah,
super dark.
Who's winning Oscars, getting nominated like crazy, but his methods are totally, against the grain. Or I was thinking maybe like Spike Jonze at the time.
I could see Spike Jonze as well for sure.
So, and that was kind of the fun with it. And really, this is a movie that does not take itself seriously. It's just literally just throw it on. Like this is.
I don't think the producers took it very seriously either, or the director, or the writers, or really anybody else in the filmmaking process, except maybe some of the actors. Oh, and the grips. I'm pretty sure the grips and the gaffers, they also took it very seriously. And the
maybe. Look at you, right? Trying to be just like, no wonder fucking Ben Affleck thinks you're an asshole, right?
Listen, if you're gonna have someone think you're an asshole, it might as well be Ben Affleck.
And all our audience and Twitter followers, everybody else. But yeah, like I think like nowadays, like this was the perfect movie for a little Netflix and chill, right?
Hector's very well endowed.
Almost too well endowed. I've had complaints.
Yeah, because you get to just do the chilling because nobody's watching the fucking Netflix, that's for sure. Where if you put on Bridget Jones' Diary, you're not getting any action because you're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, and you're just going to wonder why it took so long for Bridget to find love.
Sure. I wouldn't know because you only told me the movie you were doing for this podcast the day, like 10 minutes after we started recording. So like I was saying, thanks, asshole, because it's been 25 years since I've watched that movie. I don't even remember what the movie's fucking about.
So I mean, for those who haven't seen Bridget Jones' Diary, she's like 32, she's single. It's all set in London, England. not one in Ontario, although that would be also interesting. And you know, she's kind of like looking for love, and it seems to be all in the wrong places. And you know, she's kind of got the hots for her boss, who's like super dreamy Hugh Grant at the top of his Hugh Grantness. And she also keeps running into like Colin Firth, who yet again plays like the dry barrister. It's like attorney, corporate attorney or whatnot. And it's not quite a love triangle because, and again, spoiler, it's an old film, but like she doesn't even know that Colin Firth likes her until later. And then she realizes when he says, I like you just the way you are. Doesn't want her to change, doesn't want her to lose weight, none of that stuff. And then you find out he's getting married. So crazy. Hugh Grant and him have a fist fight. So there's like some fucking action sequences. Whoa, 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 whoa. There's incessant amounts of smoking cigarettes because it's Britain in 2001. So like people are smoking everywhere. She smokes all the time, eats like horrible food. And listen, I don't want this to come off as like a body shaming comment. Renee Zellweger is, you know, very, very lean right now. It looks like she's had a lot of like plastic surgery. And our natural looking Renee Zellweger is like a super attractive individual. Yeah, like she's beautiful in it. The writing is super tight. If you don't like British comedies, like that dry like a martini kind of wit, you may not like it, right? Because it is very like pointed. But oh, it's so fun. Like it's like laugh out loud fun. Yeah, I highly recommend this film. You can sit down and put it on and you'll actually get sucked into it. It's not going to be something that you want to be on your phone for. You want to hear the dialogue. I mean, they don't get crazy with like cinematography or anything like that, but they do use like an inner monologue. So like she'll be in a scene and you'll hear her like think what she wants to say. And sometimes they'll even play out the scene as if she had said that. And then they'll like cut back and like to react, like perception versus reality, you know, or expectation versus reality. So it's fun. It's a really fun movie.
So you obviously enjoy this movie, but what about the other ones? What about the sequels?
So I've never seen the sequels. It doesn't, to me, and it's funny that you asked that because right after I was done rewatching it, I was like, I still don't want to see the sequels because I feel like it'd be like watching Boondock Saints 2. Like it's going to taint the original picture. This is a good film. Like that's good. Like you don't like the other one's called like Bridget Jones' Edge of Reason and then Bridget Jones's Baby. Like nobody gives. It's like Sex in the City. Like they're redoing it. Nobody wants to see no sex in the country. You know what I mean? Like
hell no.
Well, Sex in the City, no sex in the country because they're like old and they've moved out of the city. Like you see how I did that?
So obviously you watched it.
No, so I haven't watched it.
What you're fucking like, I don't even know what the like fan name for fucking Sex in City File or whatever the fuck it's called. You're like, I'm on Team Samantha. Fuck it. If Kim Cattrall ain't in it, if the can part ain't in it,
if the one who dated our prime minister's dad and got misrepresented as our prime minister's mom isn't in this goddamn show, Chris ain't in, man. Chris is in each moment. Anyway, do you have anything else you want to talk about? I mean, like, I think this movie's super fun. If you like British films, watch it. It's super, you know, romantic but it's also not like cheesy to the point of like boring. Again, really well written, great cast. Check it out. Scott, anything from you?
Yeah. I just want to kind of continue the conversation for a while because this isn't going on, but it's more of a getting to know you. What's your rom-com scenario? What in your life did you do that, you know, that would be in kind of like a rom-com?
I think my entire romantic life is rather comical, so or tragic. Black comedy. I don't know. And I can't put my finger on a particular situation while I'm on the air like this. So unfortunately, we'll have to get back to that. But you know, on the topic of Oscars before we go, Renee Zellweger was nominated for an Oscar for her performance in this as well. So,
and you think that was like, obviously she didn't win.
She did not win. No.
Wait, how did she get nominated for this picture? Because never mind. Because probably Julia Roberts did not get nominated for America's Sweetheart. No, that's what I got in my head.
Got it for Aaron Brockovich.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all for me.
Come on. She was in a fat suit in this movie too. You were talking about fat suits.
Oh,
There's
that's
Julia
right.
Julia Roberts in a fat
Was in a
suit
fat suit. I think she just put on the weight for the show.
for the show, the movie.
For the movie, yeah, for the production.
See, I told you guys this episode was going to be a fucking shit show. Two grown men talking about fucking rom com. Like, I think this is going to be the quickest episode we've ever done.
That's what she said.
And that is our wrap for the day. Please like and subscribe to this podcast. Tell your friends. If you want to get a hold of us, reach us at the www.howdyoulikethatmovie.com. I was watching some interviews for that movie, and Lady Gaga was very upset that apparently her and Salma Hayek filmed the sex scene, and Ridley Scott cut it out of the floor. It's not in the movie.
So it was like, was it because like the sex scene wasn't good, or it was like so good he
No.
just took it home and put it in his home studio?
No.
Director's cut.
Okay.
Production by Rod Shaver, Vader Monkey Productions.